And we'll go through just briefly a little bit about the program, the Red Tent, and I'm just really excited to commune together for this next hour. Again, my name is Sheena. My pronouns are she, her, and she, they. I really am really honored to hold space with you this evening. The Red Tent is something that has come in and out of my life personally, and as we kind of move forward into 2024 and just under the light still of this solar eclipse that we just experienced yesterday, everybody's feeling very activated. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to direct our activations in a way that's very intentional and brings us each individually to a place of intention and completion and also forward movement, but how really inviting us to think about how we're doing that together. I'd like to just start with acknowledging that One People TO exists on the land and original caretakers of Treaty 13, the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon territory is really a place where we are known that the trees meet the water, and this is really a gathering place. This is an opportunity for us, as myself as a settler to Toronto, Canada, to Toronto, Canada. My parents who are settlers here and have made their lives here, and we really owe so much gratitude and appreciation to the Anishinaabe, Wendat, Huron, Mississaugas of the Credit, and many other First Nations that really have honored their sacred practices to really take care of the land that they were gifted and given. And it is part of my personal practice and part of my Indigenous practice. My background is Jamaican, so there is definitely a reverence for nature. As an person of African descent, it is something that we'll touch on here as well throughout the next 3 days, and is something that we're working at in One People TO to really constantly look at what we're doing, how we can do things better, and how we can repatriate and rematriate the land and re-indigenize practices that benefit us all. So starting obviously now, April 2024, we're starting with 3 digital sessions with this Red Tent. And really, it's an opportunity for us to really think about how we're moving beyond one person or one group, ruling the hierarchy. And so at One People, we're really constantly thinking about what it means to play and to prioritize play for the most equity denied communities and peoples. For us, that means approaching healing and collective wellness with a commitment and an excitement as well. And really to highlight the fact that we're working from a Black maternal lens, which is really to see who is left behind, who hasn't been cared for or acknowledged or witnessed and seen. And our mission is to dismantle the hierarchies that exist within wellness, particularly by supporting our local complementary and preventative care practitioners, and how we are reclaiming, our mission is really how we're reclaiming mental health and wellness in the Black and African diaspora, and how serving those needs really supports all communities. And that also includes dismantling anti-Black racism within the Black community, but within every community as well. So the Red Tent, why are we gathering here together for the Red Tent? The Red Tent is an ancestral practice that really calls in communities of people, women, womb holders of all backgrounds, all cultures, to gather together during their womb cycle, during an opportunity where we are really, as women and womb holders, really invited to go within, to listen, to be silent, um, to honor our intuition and our wellness practices. This is really a time of listening and paying attention. And we could also liken it to the solar eclipse. So the solar eclipse energy is very much, as an astrologer, I'd like to just touch on that for a moment and just share that this solar eclipse that just passed yesterday, yes, there was a lot of attention on it, but it is really also an opportunity for us all to look at how we are beginning anew. Again, my practice being astrology is something that I will share in my own personal session, so I don't want to take up too much time here. But I do just want to acknowledge that we are all looking at how we are showing up in relationships, who we want to be in relationship to ourselves, and of course to each other. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't speak to the genocides that are happening all over the world. And we can see this really play out on a world scale, and in a way that's really horrific and tragic. And that really speaks to, on a really base level, needs that have been unmet, people that have been unheard, and really, again, this comes back to on one hand, an anti-Blackness, but also two, an aversion to um, rematriating Indigenous practices to those original caretakers, wherever those lands are. So whether it's in Palestine, whether it's in Congo or Sudan, whether it's in Ethiopia, whether it's right here in Canada, we know for the last 4 years, the Indigenous community here in Canada has, and we have all been grieving, but had to be witnessed in the grief process of really coming to understand what has happened with in residential schools across Canada, and the lives that have been lost, children's lives that have been lost. And so we will continue, unfortunately, to see this for the next couple of years, that particularly the next year and a half. And so the focus is really on our child selves, as well as the real live children that exist on this earth. And how are we really caring for them, taking care of them, and taking care of ourselves so that we can show up as the loving beings that we are. So just briefly, we went through why is there a need for the red tent, but the red tent, again, is really an opportunity for us, especially right now when womb holders and equity denied groups really need to unite and really understand that right now we are in a rewind of reproductive rights that have been established for the last 40 years plus. And now it's really a time for us to reclaim and inspire each other, to heal each other, and to heal ourselves. This is a time for transformation in a way that hasn't really been done before. And so really excited to get into the details of the red tent, but I won't spend too long here. We're actually going to be right here. So starting out with 3 introductory sessions. And this session is really an opportunity, one, to hear from our practitioners. So we'll get into a little bit of a conversation with the folks that are here and their practices, why they wanted to join the Red Tent, and why it's particularly important right now to them to be here and as a part of this practice, as a part of this community. And then we will end with a brief healing, an energy healing. So we already, even just by being in this room, there are energy practitioners that are, sharing and transmitting their information, their energy, their wisdom, even without having to say anything or open their mouths. So we'll speak to that in a minute. But closer to the end, we'll have maybe about a 5-minute sample of some energy work that we'll do. And if you haven't already, please kind of prepare yourself with some water or tea, a journal to take some notes. I have some incense burning here, a candle. I'd love for you to burn a candle if you can. Anytime that you are connecting or communing with someone, it's always great to have a candle with you. So here's mine. It's a tobacco candle, actually. And then, of course, I have some incense and some mugwort that I'm burning here as well. So I'll just take a moment and take a pause. And if you need to step away for a moment to grab any of those things, I would invite you to do that. I'll take a sip myself. And then I will pass it off to Amisha, who is here, one of our practitioners, as well as going to be our moderator for this evening. So if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. And the folks, the practitioners that are on, I think what we will do is basically just have a kind of a round robin of the folks, of the practitioners, myself, Isabel, Osset, if you're welcome, if you're interested to join into our conversation, and Sam, for as long as you can join. I know you're going to pop off shortly as well. But this will be an opportunity really for us to kind of just jump in and popcorn about why we think this is important. Obviously, I can just kind of pop out first and say, you know, as a Black woman, I grew up, you know, seeing my mom go through certain things, and like womb reproductive changes and conditions, and ended up having a total hysterectomy about 30 years ago, 1993. And I wish that she had the support that we have right now. And sometimes that just means to say that there's somebody that you can talk to, you know. And particularly when it comes to things that we are told that we shouldn't talk about, or, you know, we're kind of dismissed, whether that's by sometimes inadvertently a sister or friend or a mom or our doctor. Unfortunately, this can happen so often. And so this is really a place for us to feel empowered to talk about the things that we don't often talk about, as well as to share our lived experiences, because that is such an education that we really don't give enough credit to and enough weight to. So I'll pass it off to Misha and invite her to start to feel us out, to bring us into this space of conversation. And then we'll move into a little bit of a reflection time.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Sheena. And thank you everyone for being here in this space. I thought maybe we just will take a moment to just take a collective breath together, wherever you're seated or standing. Just in through the nose. Open your mouth and let it go. Let's do another one of those in through the nose. Feel the air going all the way up to the top of your head. And open the mouth and exhale, let it go. Let's do one more. Inhale through the nose. Take the longest, deepest breath right to the top when you feel like you can't take any more in. And then take another little sip. Hold the breath for a moment. And then exhale, let it go. When you feel comfortable, start to open your eyes. So thanks for that. I want to invite you to, I know Sheena said it before, but I'll just mention it again, to use the chat if you have any questions. If you just want to pop something in there like a comment, please feel free. We'll kind of have the conversation be a little bit, you know, free flowing, really in, I think, honor of the space that we're in and the vibe that we have. So feel free to like offer something. But I'll pose a question kind of mirroring the slide that Sheena just had up about why the red tent. I always kind of like to start with like the motivation of what drew you to it. Sheena's given a really great platform of why she felt this conversation was necessary and this process was necessary from the perspective of one people and the work that one people does. But each of us, from the facilitator standpoint, have so many medicines and talents to offer. So I'm really curious, and I wanted to pose the question to our panel of amazing women that are here. Why the red tent for you? What drew you to the project? What drew you to wanting to be involved in the work? Um, and yeah, like your maybe just some thoughts around how you're connected, how your work is connected to this. Maybe I'll start with Osset Rose. Oh, Samantha's already put her hand up. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I figured I would talk first just because I
Thank
have to
you.
step
Thank
off
you.
quickly. For me, and I think I shared this with you ladies last night because we kind of had like a hub before this today. Growing up as a biracial woman, I didn't and being raised literally by a single white female. My mom's white. She had me when she was 17, and my dad was not in my life until I was 18 years old. I was never taught any Black history. I went to a predominantly very white, very Orthodox Jewish school. There was like a handful of Black people. And even though I knew I wasn't white, I felt very comfortable in that space. And I actually felt more uncomfortable in Black spaces. And it wasn't until I had my first boyfriend who was Black, and he started taking me out to the clubs, and I was like, oh, there's like a whole other world, and this is great. But I never felt welcomed. I would get a lot of dirty looks from other Black women, and I never understood it. Now I totally understand it, and I'm sure this is for I know a lot of my people, friends of mine who are biracial, that when the whole thing with George Floyd happened, that really opened up a Pandora's box for me. And I actually went live on my personal feed and I started crying, and I was talking about how, um, I've never felt Black enough. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. And it wasn't until last year when Amishade, if anybody knows her, people call her Omi. She runs Black Girls Guide to Menopause. She was here in Toronto and she invited me to a sisterhood dinner, and it was an invite only. And I literally cried. I stood up and I cried, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting emotional now because I felt welcome. And so, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. So I feel the same when Sheena invited me to this. I was like, I feel like it's taken me 53 years to finally feel welcome, safe, and I belong. So there was no question when Sheena invited me. It was like, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm very grateful. And um, none of you ladies who I can see so far look like you're anywhere near menopause, but I'm your menopause woman. I focus on menopause, but if you're in your 40s, you're probably in perimenopause and you don't know it yet. So I just love the fact that we're all doing this around the womb and all the different stages that we go through, because it's absolutely true. I had a hysterectomy 10 years ago. Nobody prepared me for anything. But now I feel that I've done so much work that I'm here to help women, and you might not know this, or you might, but Black women, and it's not shocking, can experience menopause very different from white women. But whenever you look at menopause information, 99% of it, just like fitness, just like so many other things, are white facing. So I really feel like this is my duty and it's my job, and it's something I take very passionately about, for educating and creating safe spaces for Black women who are going through perimenopause and menopause.
Oh, wow.
The end.
Thank you. That's the mic drop. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think, wow, that's such a like it's a hugely important topic for women to talk about. I think at any age. I mean, it's that preparation for that time in your life, having sometimes no context around it at all, or very bad knowledge. So thank you for the work that you're doing. And there's a few mentions in the chat around the topic. So thanks for that. So I'll ask the question again just to reset it. Why the red tent? Why the red tent for you? What was drawing you to the project? From your perspective, from your lived experience, and maybe just from your work, the work that you do in the world. Asset Rose.
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be in circle with us as women, as womb holders. I'm so excited about the journey that we're embarking on. And I love this question. And I also really appreciate, Sheena, you sharing the story of your mother and her hysterectomy. I work with story. I'm driven by myths of our ancient matrifocal past, our histories. I'm driven by the stories that run in my family and what runs through the just inspired by even nature as a representation of femininity, right? And understanding that nature has stories and we are interconnected with nature. And so when I think about, my own personal experience of connecting to why the red tent, right? Why is it important for us as women, not just from one age group even, right? To actually from childhood to the maiden to those who are entering into their crone space. We're all that even throughout our lives, right? The energy of the crone still exists in the child. The energy of the maiden still exists in the crone, right? And I think we're in our society, we as women have to hold stories that don't fit us. And we are kind of a culture to be ashamed of who we are, ashamed of our magic, feel like we're evil. I myself have had family members tell me to my face that I was a devil worshiper simply because I was playing African drums. Right? So I think on another level of, as a woman of color coming from different spiritual traditions, I definitely feel like the great mothers, they are always speaking to us and through us, through the silence of in our minds, through the dreams that we have. And so for me, what I'm really excited about is holding space in the maiden stage for us to explore through story, right? My personal experience with story is both private and public, right? But on a private level, because I use it as prayer, that connected me to uncovering the secrets in my family, uncovering the sexual abuse, the hysterectomy, the desires, the dreams, the things that were not fulfilled, the abortions, like it's so rich, right? And I know that I'm not unique in that. We're not unique in that, but there is something really powerful when we are able to express that, again, rooted in play, but then also to witness each other and see that our stories are connected, that we're not the only ones, that our wombs really do hold a lot of story, that we can use it through movement, we can use it through our voice, we can use it through writing, whatever it may be, or just vocalizing, just being attuned to how our other senses, our multidimensional senses, our clairvoyance, our clairsentience, how that also comes together and allows us to feel attuned to those things. So that is why I'm super excited about being a part of the Red Tent here at One People to Know, and also really excited to also partake in other facilitators' offerings as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Onset Rose. There's so much magic when we all start talking and like sharing of our modalities in the space that we come from. It comes with such passion and such like authenticity that you're like, oh, I need some of that. So thank you. Thank you for that. And again, like when we talk about why the Red Tent, I think it is really important to acknowledge that the facilitators have great lived experience in the area. It's not just by virtue. I think that's what really brought us to the work. It's by some virtue of wanting healing in our own lives, in our own practice, looking to break some, tradition or habit or generational philosophy or mindset that has been long held. So, the facilitators really come from spaces of truth and real, lived experience in the area, as well as studying and training and learning, being a student over time. I'm curious to hear from Isabel as well, who looks amazing, beautiful, like glowing on the screen. So what is your magic, pray tell, and what are you doing to yourself?
Thank you so much, everyone. And before I even get started, I want to thank Samantha. Oh, she's here. Okay, I was gonna say thanks to Samantha, and I'm in my late 30s. I'm definitely going to contact her. And Osed, is that the pronunciation of your name? Girl, the moment you say that, look what I got here. Gotta be checking that. I'm like, tell those people to remember their roots. Remember their roots. Those people who have told you straight to your face, if they look anything like you, like seriously, the roots. This was our way of communicating. I mean, some of you may not know, but I'm from Uganda, born and raised from the motherland. And it's not until 2010 that I left that beautiful land. And this is us, the drums. Setting all of this that they call, black magic, whatever they're saying, it's like people need to remember their roots, that before the white man came and said, okay, this religion and all these things you're practicing, which is the African spirituality, that it's considered dark and negative. This is what we did, connecting to the drums, our way of communication. It was a way of opening up portals. I mean, you drum, the magic that comes through these beautiful tools. And even I'm actually getting my drum made. I've been drawn to work with a bigger drum. I'm getting one made here, and I'm going to be involved in the process of making it myself. It's like, for some reason, it's like the shaman in me, my ancestors are like, girl, you need to get a big drum. Like, this is small, like, stop playing around. So, and when you mentioned that, it's my entire body was like, ooh, the drums, right? And thank you so much for sharing your story, and each and every one of you. And Sheena, I really, really appreciate you for doing this, for creating this, giving us a place to come together as women, and and just creating this space and circle to support each other, not just the practitioners, but the community at large. And for me, what drew me to this was like, okay, first, if it's Sheena doing something, it's just like, I mean, because it's Sheena, your energy and everything, but it's your beliefs, it's your mission and everything. And when you said Red Tent, I was like, finally, because 2 years ago, I participated in a Red Tent ceremony. It was just an amazing group of women. The entire group was mixed. We had Caucasian, we had, Black, Indian, and name it, Asian, an entire group. And I learned so much. We got to tap into a lot of our wisdom. And like we did, also you did mention of our cycles and the shame that as women carry around when we are during our moon blood. Those people who think you're like, tell them to come to me when they get to know what I do with my moon blood, by the way. I don't know if all of you do those rituals. You gotta work with that moon blood, collect it, feed it to your plants, give it back to nature. There's so much magic. There's so much we can do with that. So when Sheena said the Red Tent, I was like, yes, yes, it's about time we got together and created something for us, something where we can really come and share wisdom and be activated, because each and everyone who is coming into this space brings their codes, their uniqueness, and it's just an exchange. Like, it's just so beautiful. So that is why I'm here. And I'm so excited to yeah, to just grow with each and every one of you, because I feel like we're all growing and expanding. You guys have so much to share, and I'm excited to see how everything just flows during this time together.
Thank you, Isabel. Lovely, lovely. See, I couldn't like the face matches everything else that like exuded from Isabel just now. Like the glowing that you see really glows from everything that she said too. So thanks for your contribution. Yeah, yeah. So I'm wondering if I've missed anyone else. Sheena, give me a heads up if I've missed anyone. I got everybody. Yeah. So I wanted to leave space for, because from our end, from the practitioner, standpoint, we've been sharing a lot. We've been talking a lot. And we wanted to leave some space for an opportunity for any feedback, questions, comments, curiosity, just downright, I just want to put something out there. I hope you all feel like this is a safe space to do so. And even if you just wanted to drop something in the chat or reach out directly to one of the facilitators or even myself as the moderator, please feel free. Wanted to make this really a space where you could kind of feel safe enough to work out some kinks and some questions or some stops or some places of resistance, or to acknowledge or empower the thoughts that you've been having that push you forward. So really, if there's anything that needs to be said, we wanted to leave the space to do so. And from someone who's very comfortable with silence, I'll just smile at you and leave the floor open for a moment.
And I just said something. I just want to say I love you all. That's like, I can't help it. I'm just feeling so much love for everyone. I get like giggly and so super excited. I just wanted to say that. Like, I wish I could like hug each and every one of you. And yeah, I love you guys all so much. That's what I wanted to say. Let me kind of.
You too.
I love you too, Isabel. That's amazing. I see a hand up, and I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing your name properly. Leonilde?
Hi, it's Leonilde.
Leonilde, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me.
No. It's okay. Thank you. First, I want to say thank you. I do feel very welcome and safe. With a lot of curiosity, I'm here because of my friend Vanilla, who invited me and sent me the link, and I registered. But very curious. Isabel, thank you for mentioning the drum. I am Cape Verdean. I was born and raised in West Africa, and lately I always loved music. I always loved to dance, but drumming has just hit me differently. Drum has always been part of my life, but with a lot of misinformation, I think. So lately, drum has hit me different, and opening my eyes to just I think to our capability. Our ancestors are trying to talk to me somewhere, somehow. And I wanted to just learn more, and I believe that we can do so much more for one another, and that's what I'm here. I have a little red tent.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
And I see a heart from your friend. I believe it's your friend who referred you. She's kind of bigging you up here in the emojis. So thanks for that. And it's really, it's important to, I think, to be witnessed, right? So the opportunity for us as practitioners to share our medicine and what we do and how we manage and how we thrive is not just sort of, it becomes a little bit of our duty and responsibility. And so to be witnessed by you all here is, I think, the reason why we're doing it really is beyond anything else, is an opportunity to share of what we do and to have it land in that way. So thanks for offering that. Yeah, I'll do that again. No, so I'm gonna throw it back now to Sheena, because I know you wanted to do a little bit of a collective ceremony. So I'll hand it back over to you and just say thank you to our practitioners. Samantha, I know had to jump off, but to Samantha, Osset Rose, and to Isabel, and of course Sheena, for bringing us together and sharing a little bit about how we will be supporting the Red Tent, and why we've come to the project, and what we see as our contribution going forward. So thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Misha. Misha will be sharing her experience tomorrow, I believe. Your work tomorrow, yeah. Cool. Yeah, really feel grateful, happy, satisfied. If you know human design, satisfied is like my good feeling. So I just want to take a moment to invite you, everyone, practitioners included. So I'm going to do a little bit of energy work for about 5 minutes. It'll be silent. In this time, I invite you to journal. So again, thinking back to the fact that we had the solar eclipse yesterday, it's also, we're still, Aries energy is still very much the beginning of the new year, the new astrological year. We say astrological year, but when we think about so many cultures that begin around this time, their new year begins around this time. Or even, you know, it's not necessarily just because January starts, it's the beginning of the year for some folks. Maybe it's the Lunar New Year. Maybe it's, you know, Ramadan or Eid, which is happening now. And so really inviting you, particularly, yes, we're starting with these three sessions, these 3 complementary sessions. And actually, we've just discovered that we're going to be offering a bonus session, which will be held on Monday. Because each session will be really speaking about the module. So today we've really been thinking and speaking a little bit about womb and ancestral healing. Tomorrow we'll be speaking, as Osset mentioned, the Maiden module, and then we'll go into the motherhood module, and then on Monday we'll do the Crone. And so the program is actually, once we get through these initial sessions, we're really getting into a little bit of a taster about what this full year program will look like. And folks are welcome to join once we deliver and share the full length of the program, which will be shared on Thursday and Monday. I would really invite you to think about what you would like to work on, create, conjure, complete between now and next March. So this is, you have the support of the astrological new year. You have the support of the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse that we experienced yesterday. And no matter where you are in the world, if you're in the path of totality, that's something you have a little extra blessing. Most of the people that are on the Northern Hemisphere in North America would have experienced some partial eclipse yesterday. And so you may be experiencing it more than other people maybe around the world, but we obviously are all experiencing this. And so for these next few minutes, while I send some energy, I'll do some sound and making use of the materials that I have around me. And so this is really an opportunity for you to think about, reflect on, get excited about what it is that you would like to create in this next year. Maybe it's around your womb health. Maybe it's around your creative outlets. Maybe it's around family and how family's changing, how your home is changing. But I often find, and the reason that I love astrology is because it really empowers me to make the most of the energy and the time that's available. And, it's almost like, that it's going to be a sunny day. So we want us to make some hay while the sun shines. So for these next 4 minutes or so, I will invite you to journal, or if you already have some notes, feel free just to maybe watch me or close your eyes, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And I'll go ahead. So I will keep a rhythm. And if you feel guided, I've been doing a lot of humming and toning, particularly around this eclipse, because it really is an opportunity for us to strengthen our voice, and our connection from our throat to our heart. So beginning, I just like to take a moment to call on my own angels and ancestors, spirit guides, and higher selves, even though they were already here present during this whole call. Just going to call them in audibly before I begin here. Thank you. Calling in the presence, the support, the wisdom and palpable love of each one of our angels and ancestors, spirit guides and higher selves, for their love, guidance, and protection, for their direction, for them sharing their prosperity and abundance with us, with you. May this week be a keen reminder of who you are, how you are renewing, how you are not shying away, how you are stepping forward into the you, the new you, the you that has always been there, the you that has pulled back a new layer, the you that is ready to reveal a new self, a fully strengthened, embodied self. With the support of your spirit team and the sisters and womb holders here in this sacred circle, this sacred space, may you feel welcomed and encouraged to step forward. May you feel ready to be witnessed. May you be ready to be called by your name. Ashe, and so it is. And so it is, and so it is. Tomorrow, before we check out, which I'll
So before we check out, and I'll make sure that, oh, well, she didn't come back. Looks like there was some alarm going off, so hopefully everything's fine. We'll just send her good vibes that everything's fine on her end. Before we check out, I just wanted to let you know that we will be circling back tomorrow. Oh, Sheena's back in. Go ahead.
I like that we're setting off the alarms anyway.
I know, huh? That's what I said.
Must be a good sign. Yes, I was gonna hand the checkout back to you. But we are meeting again tomorrow. Different practitioners, so the practitioners that are here may also be joining as well. And really another opportunity for us to share and the wisdom and the information that's going to be coming up each month for the next year, as well as another facilitated brief practice that will really encourage you to kind of continue on the steps that you just did with writing down this next goal, this year goal. And again, what it may look like for you to have the support, the womb wisdom support. And this is really, when we think about womb wisdom, this is an opportunity for us to work within the portal of creation. And we can do this collectively, of course. So how we're supporting each other and supporting the charities that are organizing partners, as well as the opportunity to support other organizations as well. But most of all, to support yourself and each other. So thank you. Thanks for being here. And I'll pass it back to Misha so we can check out.
Thank you. So I'll just drop it in the chat too, but I just encourage you to share a word, one word to check out from our time together. It could be an energy or a feeling that you have right now that you're leaving this space with. You're also welcome to share verbally and come off mute and do so. And we can just sort of popcorn ourselves out as the vibe calibrates. And I can start. My word is held. Held. I see grateful from Jyoti in the chat. Thank you. Empowered. Prosperity, synergism, love that.
I will say seen.
Ignited. Ignited.
Ignited. I like
And say love.
that.
Amazing.
And seen.
Mm.
Capable. Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing your words.
Capable, synergism, prosperity, empowered, grateful. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Really looking forward to tomorrow. And we'll see you then.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
I thank you.
Night.